Hi everyone, in this video we'll be learning the fourth and final idea regarding making the subject of a formula, that is to gather yourself. Let's quickly jump to the question and understand why this idea is called gathering yourself. So let's read the question here. It says express Z in terms of H and G. Right, so the hallmark of this question and when you need to use it is that the subject which you're going to make later on appears twice. So the story goes like this: you are here and you are here, and you want to be alone. Remember our previous ideas? And so what is confusing is that H becomes sort of your closest friend, and 2G sort of becomes your closest friend as well. In fact, you can't even draw the understanding of where your friends are. So in this state, you're actually confused. And when you're confused in real life, you have to gather yourself. So let's begin and see how this question comes out to be. We begin by our previous idea whereby cross multiplication is always correct. Why do we need to consider that? Because it's actually quite ready for cross multiplication. How so? Because this is actually over 1. So our previous idea is that whenever you can cross multiply, it is always a correct step. So you cross multiply like so, becomes H Z plus H equals to 2G minus Z. Right? And in this case, it's good for you to expand, so do so. So become ZH plus H squared, multiply in, and 2G minus Z. Why do we think cross multiplication is always the correct step? Because it evens the playing field. Everyone is on the same platform. You can discuss who's your furthest friend and who's your closest friend. So at this stage, we are still on two sides of the equation. So you're still confused on who's your friends and who's not your friends. So what you need to do, you need to recollect yourself and bring yourself to one side of the equation, usually the left-hand side, because you can prep for the final step. So it becomes ZH plus Z, or you send the negative Z over to the left-hand side, and you kick everything that's not your friend. So over here, you can kick H square away, put it to the other side, so it becomes 2G minus H squared. So as it stands, you are very clear that H squared should be away because ultimately you still want to be alone. So how do you recollect yourself? Well, simply put, when you recollect yourself, you're actually just factorizing. So factorize Z out, and you get ZH plus 1, 2G minus H squared. There's a 1 here because there's a coefficient 1, and you multiply in, you still get your 1Z. So what you can do now is to realize that this is just a bunch of friends you can kick away, and you are sort of almost alone. And by kicking away your last set of friends, what you're actually doing is understanding that the relationship is a multiplication relationship. So you can send it over as a division. So it becomes 2G minus H squared over H plus 1. And now you're alone, and Z is the subject of the formula, and that's it. Thank you.